Thank you. Next witness opposed.
Yes, I'm Rob Merrick. I'm not a party to the cases in the, down in San Bernardino, but I'm very familiar with them. Mr. Keith Walker is here. He's the only individual minor that is a party to one of the 6 cases. All the others are groups of minors under associations and so forth. He's the only one that is an individual miner that goes out and prospects for gold and gets it and uses it as part of his income. And that was true up until 2008. He started in '63. So I'm going to let him come up to the table in just a minute. But let me go through some of the things that I've garnered from reading the record of that case and things that I think you could change this bill to help out with. First of all, this bill has 2 sections to it, Section 1 and Section 2. And just to give you an idea, the big problem we have in the case down in San Bernardino is that we're dealing with Section 5653 of the Fish and Game Code, and that's your Section 1 of your bill. And then you have a Section 2 that goes to the Water Code for the Water Resources Board. If I had 4 or 5 items on my wish list, I would suggest that you take those 2 sections and make them each an individual bill. It makes it a lot easier when the parties have to get together and decide what to do about where they're going to go next in the litigation process. It will also relieve any problems that you have a bill that has a subject matter name that makes it a legal bill under Article 9 of the state constitution of Part 4. It's Section 9 of Article 4 of the state constitution that says a bill has got to have a subject matter title. You can't have an appropriations bill amending a statute that's already in place. And you can't put a statute in place unless you have a subject matter in its title. My second wish list would be to say this, because it'll solve a lot of time for people briefing the issue in the court case, which is still going on. AB 120 and SB 1018 are 3 of the bills that were used to set up the moratorium that the miners have been suffering from since 2009. It would be nice if, as part of this bill, when you deal with 5653, you essentially, and I know this is a hard word to accept when you're legislature, repeal both of those immediately. The reason being they were in budget appropriations bills. They did not have the subject matter vacuum suction dredging in the title. The title on one of those bills is 36 lines long. It deals with 8 different agencies. It mentions over 100 sections of various codes and so forth. So if you deleted those 2, the moratorium would end tomorrow.
Wish list number 3.
Okay, wish list number 3.
Move forward.
Okay.
We're not going to be here till midnight.
When we're talking about technically what happens with mining and with the dredges, if the court in San Bernardino knew at this moment, which I found out and others have found out at 2 different meetings of people that are in the plaintiffs group, that the state was supporting dredging for cleaning up mercury, like in the...
Yeah, that is included in there as well.
Right, the Bear Valley and the Columbine area. He might have a different view of things because he is under the impression that all suction dredge mining has been prohibited in the entire state. And it's not. The state, through funding $9 million to the Water Board, has put out contracts, and the biggest one is that reservoir, the Columbine Reservoir. Combi Reservoir. And they're the ones that are only getting 85% mercury out when individual dredgers with their dredging machines get out 98%. More importantly, this report, it's not a report, it's a letter. I'd like to give this in evidence to all the members of the committee, is a comment by one of the plaintiffs in the case, but it was before he was a plaintiff, of course, because he's an expert in dredging. He's also an expert in underwater mining. And his name is McCracken. Now, I heard that name McCracken from a friend of mine who's probably the best individual at suction dredge mining in the state of California. In his lifetime, with suction dredge mining in overseas in Africa and Cambodia, after he got out of the Vietnam War, he stayed overseas, and he's been a miner for 30 years. He has been a miner using suction dredging equipment. So what I know is what I've learned from him and what I've seen in this case, and his viewpoint would be that there's very little impact by suction dredging if you're using a 4-inch nozzle. It's like using your vacuum cleaner in a real dusty room. It moves it around, but it doesn't really disturb things. The state gets after this by saying, well, 6 and 8 inches we're going to be a little bit more strenuous with.
In your fourth wish list.
Okay, well let me finish this third one. A centrifuge is a gravitational separation device. In the Combi reservoir, what's being used is, in the last 3 pages of this material I gave you, up near the top of the third page from the end, it says, more than just a suction dredge, the NID dredge, that's the Nevada Irrigation District dredge, will employ a cutter head at the nozzle. A cutter head has like a series of 6 what I would call drills, like if you drill into a piece of wood and you get dust coming out. Well, you put 6 of them in a circle and you have a hose in the middle. That's what they're using. That's not what miners use. Miners use a straight hose like at the end of a vacuum cleaner, and it takes up whatever is solid and big or little that can go through that 4-inch pipe. And they don't crush up anything and make it into small particles. When it comes in, it's the same size as when it comes in, and when they discharge it out the end of the dredge, it's the same size as when it came in. The cutter head that's being used by the contractor with the State Water Board to do that reservoir is actually doing a worse job at clearing mercury than would be done by regular dredgers, because it is chopping up into fine particles all that material that comes up off the bottom of the reservoir. Granted, it's a hot spot and there's a lot of mercury there. And in so doing, it doesn't all go up through the vacuum. The 6 heads, just like when you're drilling and you get sawdust all over the place, each one of those 6 drill bits, so to speak, is dispersing material that doesn't get sucked up in the hose. And that's the material that becomes very minute particles, and they are creating more of a problem than any suction dredge used by miners. My wish list would be, if you were if somebody could say tomorrow what can be done, that project should be shut down immediately, as long as they're still going to use the cutter head at the nozzle. Use a regular nozzle, that's fine, but not a cutter head, because that's where you really get fine particles of mercury, and who knows how much they're spreading out in that entire reservoir, and that water leads to drinking water downstream. So getting rid of the unconstitutionality of AB 120 and 1018, taking care of Combi, and the worst possible situation is to think this is a test project that we should do throughout the state and maybe up in the mountains. I don't think so. It is not a good way to go after mercury.
Just
Okay.
so we understand, this is for everybody here.
Right.
This is not a symposium on mining.
Okay.
I don't want to know all. I understand that this legislation was a reaction to the court case that came in, but I don't want to be briefed on the court case. I don't want to. It's what we do here is we have a proposal. I've got 4 pages in front of me.
Right.
And I have to, and it can be changed, but I need to have the comments focused
Fine.
on this.
Add 1 comment to your statute on the water board that the reintroduction into the stream by a vacuum sludge dredging machine apparatus in a stream that only puts back into the stream what comes into the vacuum entry point is not a discharge under the NPDES. That would be in accord with federal law, federal cases, and it would resolve the problem for water quality as far as suction dredging is concerned.
Just glancing at this, it appears that this is wonderful information for the permitting board to understand if they were going to grant the permitting. What we're here to do, at least as I understand, is that this decision is not, this is not a prohibition. It's already prohibited. And this is, you need a permit. This is trying to balance the fish and game and the state water resource and bring them together on what the permit looks like. All the details of the permit, as interesting as they are, not my job. That's not my job. I'm not determining what the criteria is. I'm just at least the bill in front of me. Now, there may be another bill, or maybe two bills.
I'm just saying that if you added that one line, you would get rid of 95% of the, or maybe as high as the 98% of the problems with this bill.
Okay.
The State Water Board can control water quality wherever it wants. It can do that right now. But the point is, going after the miners is one group, and then not recognizing federal law that says when you put what back into the river, what you took out of the river, that's not a discharge under NPDES. That's important to recognize as a legislator because you're passing a law, and that is just reflecting what the law is.
Okay.
My
very
last
good.
point would be on the mercury. My expert, the guy with $1.25 million that he's gotten out of gold in the last 30 years, would tell you, Rob, the biggest thing is all the mercury that we have with all these miners. I could go and survey everybody in this room, and if anybody's got less than 30 pounds of mercury in their garage, I would be surprised. Everybody I've talked to has got at least 40 pounds, if not 150 pounds. So you've got to set up a system whereby it can be deposited with the state, and they get credit for it or they get money for it. But that's the best way to get mercury out of the system right now, is get all the mercury from what they've gotten in the last 30 years plus what they're going to get in the next 10 years out of this system.
Thank you.
That's all I have to
Okay,
say.
now, we have a mic that's in the middle. If I can have, some of you are standing here, if we could use the mic, as you can, well, you don't know this. This is an unusual thing for a chair to allow over a half hour of presentation on the pro and con. So now for my fellow senators that they're here, we see that there's a lot of people here. So if what we would like to, we've got some data, a lot of very important data. If we could just have people's names and where you're from, and I assume we're hearing the people that are opposed. So if you use that microphone right there.
I have a bad leg. I'd like to sit down if it's okay with you.
Okay, everybody else, please stand.
Oh, I'll keep it short. Okay, last time when I was here to testify, I gave a copy to the Senator Pally, a copy of
Happily.
mercury, everything. And she said it would. Okay, it got to your staff, so I don't have to go through any of the stuff in there.
Thank you.
Okay, I think this water board, we all want clean, good water. But I think the State Water Board has enough on its plate. They have 80 billion gallons of water that is contaminated going into the oil fracking, 60 billion gallons going into the pot growing, which produces pesticides and all kinds of things. So I don't think they need another permit department to permit us. And we're not polluters. What is the wild?
Give him your name.
Okay, my name's Chuck Dunn.
Thanks, Chuck. And you opposed the bill?
Yeah, no. Yes, I do. I drove 8 hours to get here and I'm still tired.
And what else do you want me to know? What if you could give me one sentence of what I should know about SB 637 and why you drove to get here?
But a lot of it's been stated. But what to do is, I gave a little tiny packet. It's got a lot of good information. It's concise. It's referenced. I gave you my phone number. If you have any questions, call me. And if something to think about yourself, how did the brown trout and rainbow trout exist before the Department of Fish and Game for thousands of years? And do we need all these agencies to do these things? And we all agree we want good, clean water. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Next, name, address, and your statement on the bill.
Ron Clewert. I'm with Public Lands for the People. We represent thousands of small-scale miners. And we definitely oppose SB 637 for all the reasons that have been stated by Mr. Poe and Chris Georgie. And just want to make a note that the dredges that were used in the testing that were 98% effective in removing mercury, they've improved them since then. They're now 99% plus effective.
Good news.
There's a family business in California, family-owned business, Keen Engineering, that is perfecting those sluice boxes. So,
Next witness.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Robert Guardiola. I'm an independent miner, have been so for many years now. I'm also the president of the Delta Gold Diggers, nonprofit agency out of Stockton, California. I also am a member of the GPAA, which represents 50,000 members nationwide and a member of several of the mining districts locally. There's several flawed things here in this bill that we're trying to get across. It's going to limit a lot of my miners' ability to earn an income. It's already put us out of the ball game, and I've seen a lot of my members struggle over the last several years that this ban on dredging has been imposed. One thing about mercury, sure, we all get mercury out of the rivers. It usually comes in the form of this. If we've got gold in our sluice boxes, I think one thing that hasn't been explained on the sluice boxes and the dredge, they all have sluice boxes. In that sluice box, you have a crash box. In that crash box, you have a screen that divides out the smaller stuff from the heavier stuff. Heavier stuff flows over the riffles, and so does the smaller stuff. When mercury is combined with gold, it generally sticks to the gold. And that's one of the reasons that dredging is so effective. And we pull out 90% of it. One other thing that I want you to consider in this bill is that you've got a water filter on your tap at home. It only removes 98 to 99% of the pollutants in the water. Are you going to get a permit to have that water filter on your tap? Okay. Thousands of miners are out of work because of this, and you're putting them more and more in debt. I urge you to not move this bill forward. I oppose it, and so do my miners.
Thank you. Next witness.
My name is John Ratley. I'm from Salida, California. I'm an independent miner, and I agree with Shannon Poe and everything that he discussed with you, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Jolynn Rethus. I'm from Vacaville. I'm a miner. I oppose this bill. I support everything that has been said by Shannon Poe and everyone else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe Woldhouse, San Francisco, California. That is where I was born, living currently in Antioch. And I'm the president of the East Bay Prospectors. We're also an authorized GPAA group. And I oppose this SB 637, concurrence with Chris and Shannon.
Thank you.
Hello, Senator. Name's Leroy Lenhart, and I'm a miner, and I depend on getting gold to make a little bit of a living. I notice everybody likes to wear jewelry. Some of this is probably something I sold to the jeweler. You made your jewelry or your earrings, the back of your earrings stuff. And I have about 40 pounds of mercury sitting in a jar. So in 2000, I think it was 2000 or 2001, EPA had a thing out where all the dredgers would take the gold, mercury gold, and they would buy it from them. And all of a sudden it just stopped. So somewhere down there it was there because and they got a lot of mercury out of that and was brought in, lots of it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Steve Greger. I'm from Atwater, California. In an earlier part of my life, I spent 5 years working for the Environmental Protection Agency, Hazardous Waste Branch, Office of Water Quality, Division of Enforcement. As a result of the National Resources Defense Council suit against the EPA for mismanaging 129 pollutants, including heavy metals, mercury, zinc, lead. I managed 3 projects, specifically dealing with the 129s. One, the collection of some of the 700,000 sites that monitor pollutants, and the 200 million data points that exist, included fish kills, mercury-based fish kills. I also managed dilution studies, which looked at such things as USGS gauging stations measured the difference in flow coming downriver. And I can tell you that if any of the work we did on those projects had the same kind of science used here, NRDC would have had the EPA back in court. I vehemently oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dolores Erb from Salida, California, and I oppose this bill as stated by Mr. Shannon Poe.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michael Dahl. I'm from Pleasant Hill. I'm a California small-scale miner, and I oppose this bill. I've got 5 weeks of vacation at work this year. 4 weeks of it will be spent in Idaho dredging. I'll be taking all my finances up there to purchase my fuel, my supplies, my equipment, and that could be spent in California. So I oppose this bill on the basis that stated by Shannon Poe.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Randy Harrelson from Granite Bay, California. I just want to say on behalf of the miners, we don't want to hurt the environment. And I had patent pending numbers for an gold dredge improvement. On the same month that I was granted these numbers, they banned gold dredging at the same time. So not only do I don't build dredges anymore, and I don't hire people to build dredges either. And I don't want to hurt the environment, and I want dredging legal again. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gary Chance. I'm from San Jose, California. I'm the Claims Committee Chair for East Bay Prospectors. I also own gold claims up in the mountains outside of Groveland. I pay taxes on those claims. I should be able to exercise my federal mining rights to locate and find gold. I believe that the evidence and documentation that Shannon Poe has presented here today is more conclusive, and the studies are more in depth than what's been done in a short period of time by some of these scholars. I'm totally opposed to this bill. I think there's better alternatives. I think that every county has collection sites for recycling. I think the state should look at those sites as a collection site for mercury that we want to get rid of and not hang on to. And I think you guys have better ways and means of controlling that than individuals do scattered throughout the state. That's all I have to say, and I'm opposed.
Thank you, sir. Next.
Hi, my name's Chris Miller. I'm a former educator for 30 years in San Francisco, science teacher, and now retired casual miner, recreational miner, whatever term I'm politically allowed to use. I'm still in sort of shock that we've got a situation with a lot of facts pointed out here saying, in the Lake Combi example, we have corporate dredging. And yes, it's working, it's got 84%. Meanwhile, you have this entire group of people who are trying to make up for the bad science that happened 150 years ago, and we didn't know the bad effects of mercury. Yes, the miners put it there. Today's miners want to help you get rid of it. And you're trying to stop them? Doesn't make sense to me.
I'm just trying to conduct this hearing. I'm not
I
doing
understand.
I got a lot of bills I got to get
Right,
through.
I realize that. So it just shocks me that you're trying to stop them while you're still supporting, or someone is still supporting, the corporate dredgers. Again,
you.
where is the little individual in all of this? Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
My name is Brandon Reinhardt. I'm an independent miner here in California. I'm currently defending myself against the state in the Supreme Court. People versus Reinhardt, it's in your binder there. For that reason, I oppose this bill based off of Shannon Poe's statements.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dan Custer. I'm a miner from San Diego, and I strongly oppose this bill and the science and facts behind it. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Fred Goodwin. I started prospecting in 1947, which is longer ago than some of you are old. We've been prospecting, not creating any problems. My grandparents prospect, and they made enough money during the Depression to be able to buy a home. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Hi, my name is Brian Jorgensen from Houston, California. I'm an independent miner. I just want to take a minute and thank the committee. I know this is highly unusual for you guys, but you have to understand we're just regular people. We don't have money behind us. We don't have lobbyists. We're just out there trying to make a living. I'm not sure what was wrong with the permitting process in 1994. I'm not sure why we aren't allowed to do what we do. So for that reason, I vehemently oppose this bill for the reasons Shannon stated.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Patricia Nelson. I'm an environmental permitting and regulatory specialist. And for the reasons that I put on record 2 weeks ago with this committee, I oppose this bill. This bill singles out the independent miners whose impact would be considered de minimis under CEQA, and there seems to be an effort here to regulate something that is an activity that is in fact cleaning up our surface waters. Thank you.
My name is Lauren Reinhart, and based on what Shannon Poe stated earlier, I am in opposition of this bill. Thank you.
Excuse me. Hello, my name is John Reinhardt. I'm Brandon's father. I oppose this bill based on all the evidence that's been presented to you too. Thank you.
Gloria Grederman, Mother Lode Gold Hounds, Auburn. I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Brett Ketchum, Loma Rica, California. I have 37 years experience dredging. I've never killed the fish. And I oppose this bill because if I don't, my grandchildren will never get to enjoy nature.
Thank you.
Alton Smithart, and I'm a small-scale miner, and I oppose this bill. And as a footnote, I have personally removed over 600 pounds of mercury from our streams and rivers in California. Thank you.
My name is Jared Neisdal. I'm here to represent myself as a small-scale miner, and I work for a company building sluice boxes. I stand behind the American Mining Rights Association with everything that they say, and I would appreciate it if you guys would keep flipping through that binder and gain a little more information before just going off of what was said by our opposition. I fully oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Elmer Rosenblatt. I'm from Petaluma, California. I'm a small-time miner, and I don't have 20 pounds of mercury. I might have 3 pounds. But I still need a place to get rid of it. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm opposed to this bill.
Hello, my name is Sean Raymond. I live in Fair Oaks, but we have property and mining claims up in the Siskiyou County area. I'm opposed to this bill, and I'm concerned directly to Mr. Wanowski's statements as far as he's here, he has a bill, he has to work on it, and the concern about the bill is that you're allowing the ability to make these decisions out of the Fish and Game and the Department of Water. They have no restrictions as far as if the permitting process as being able to raise fees or to set fees that would actually make getting permits oftentimes out of the reach of a lot of these individuals. I've done research with trying to be able to do this, and to get a water permit in some of these counties right now, just to check and see if I could pull water out of my river that flows through my property would run $1,000. And there's no reason that they couldn't increase that or make changes to it. And it's on a district by district level, these fees are put out there. So even if you do pass this and have all of this science and all this good information about the permitting process, they also could still fee and things out of it. So I'm adamantly opposed to this bill at this time.
Thank you. Next witness.
It is very hot in this room, so I'll keep it short. My name is Richard Simons. I reside in Stockton, California. I'm an engineering technician by trade, but I'm also a small-scale gold miner, and I oppose this bill.
Next.
My name is Marcus Munier. I'm from North Highlands, California. I agree with what much of Shannon has said. I think there's a lot of environmental hysteria concerning miners and mercury. And about the collection sites for mercury, we have mercury about us in the fluorescent bulbs that are in our ceiling here. It's used as a way to energize it to make the phosphorus glow in the lights. And we're supposed to have recycling centers for those, but I never have encountered them. But if we do have that for the light bulbs, could we have it for mercury from the miners?
Thank you.
Okay.
My name's Steve Tyler. I've been mining gold for over 30 years, filing taxes and employing 2 part-time miners for 6 months a year for that time. As Judge Ochoa stated in his Southern California decision, this is a scheme and it takes away private property mining rights. That's what it's about, the bottom line of money. Just another obstruction to our acquisition to the minerals on our own lands, whether they be private or on Forest Service lands. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Steve Durham. I'm from American Canyon, California. I'm a small-time prospector, and I oppose this bill. I feel that it's just another stalling tactic to keep us out of the water. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Daryl Rose. I'm from Stockton, California. I'm part of the Delta Gold Diggers. I oppose this. Definitely. I definitely agree with what Mr. Poe said. He said everything basically that I was thinking. I also wanted to thank you guys for your patience. I know that it's taking a long time. Thank you very much. And I would definitely like it if you said no on my behalf.
Thank you. They're outside.
My name is Rich Georgie. I live in Forest Hill. I have a degree in fisheries biology, and I'm opposed to this legislation going through. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Keith Walker. I'm one of the 3 cases in San Bernardino, represent myself. And one of the about 17 lawsuits that have been filed against the Fish and Game over this. And what we're opening up here is a whole new round of lawsuits. And I got about 50 pounds of mercury at home. You know, I don't know where to get rid of it. But the problem I have is with all the misrepresentations and all this stuff you got to read through, is that they're reclaiming gold, the mercury, and we're discharging it. When they're running a suction dredge too, and what they have is a cutter head on the front of it that grinds it and splatters it, and the mercury that's on the outside, those cutter heads get splattered out. So that's why they're recovering, I think it was like 87%, and we're recovering 98%, but yet we're discharging it. So the whole thing is just one misrepresentation after another. Trying to sort through this stuff is a nightmare. I'll see you later.
Thank you. Next. It's my nightmare.
Hi, my name's Brian Sproul. I'm a small-time miner. I used to go mining all the time. Now that since they've outlawed dredging, I don't go anymore. I don't spend money in gas. I don't spend money in food. I don't spend money going to camping at all. Now when I go mining, I maybe once a year, if that. Thank you, and I oppose this bill.
Alex Crossman from Colfax, California, small miner and mechanical engineer. I oppose the bill for the reasons stated here today. Thank you.
Thank you. You're not a small miner. You're just you have maybe small finds. Next.
Patricia Mobley. I'm 63 years old, Copperopolis, California. I'm a prospector, rock hounder, and a dredger. I'd like to get back in the water. I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Dennis Mobley, Copperopolis, California. Oppose this bill. Thank you.
My name's William Lieberman. I'm from Santa Rosa, California. I oppose this bill.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is James Hutchings. I'm from Forest Hill, California. I'm a small miner. I own a 160-acre placer claim. I've been mining for 25 years in a small mountain stream, and I'm glad to report that I have no mercury from that stream because it doesn't exist there. This bill could put tremendous prohibitions and permit processes in front of me when there's no need for it on my stream and my river. And I would ask you to contact the Department of Health Services. I did. This is not a public safety issue. 60 years of dredging, 13,000 dredge permits issued in the 70s and 80s, our last gold rush, and no downstream effects from mercury intoxication, mercury defects of embryos, nothing. There is no impact from this level of mining. Thank you, folks. I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name's Rick Selfa, Stockton, California. I'm an independent miner, and for the reasons stated, Shannon Poe and American Miners' Rights Association, I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Jerry Clements, and I am a small-scale miner. And for everything we've been talking about, I oppose this bill, and I urge you to oppose it also.
Thank you.
Dale Meyer. I'm the communications officer and website admin for East Bay Prospectors out of Concord, California. One point is when this test at Combi began or whatever, millions of dollars of our taxpayer money purchase a Canadian dredge. Why didn't we buy it in California? Why didn't we buy it from Keene? Keene makes better dredges, and we send our taxpayer dollars to Canada. As a taxpayer, that upsets me. Number two, I look at District 26, and I look on all my maps and all my data. I do not see a single federal mining claim in District 26, and I wonder why Senator Allen has brought this bill up, as it doesn't appear to have anything to do with his district. Thank you. I oppose this bill strongly.
Thank you. Let's just a friendly reminder, let's focus on the legislation.
My name is Brian Ramos. I'm from San Jose, California. My family has property up in Pine Grove, California. I'm a computer scientist, and I'm a small-scale miner. I'm also the secretary of East Bay Prospectors. I oppose this bill with the information by Shannon Poe. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Gloria Marie, and I strongly oppose this bill, this poorly written bill, and I encourage you all to do the same. I'm a small-scale miner, and this is bad for California.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ron Hamilton. I'm a member of East Bay Prospectors in Concord, California, and I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there. My name is Josh Cleaver. I'm a small-scale miner out of Southern California, and I really oppose this. It doesn't seem right. This is the Golden State. This did build, you know, there's a guy over there on the other building, and it has the mineral wealth. You guys know the statue. I oppose this bill. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Doug Jurr, Petaluma, California, and I strongly oppose this bill. I'm an independent miner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cindy Burchard. I'm a member of the Mother Lode Gold Hounds. I've been mining since '83 when I moved up here. I strongly oppose this bill because we take a lot of junk out of the rivers, and that includes fishing hooks too, along with other metals and so forth. And I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ed Ebbett. I've been mining for over 40 years, and I really strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brandon Johnson, member of GPAA River City Prospectors, and also with my little Gold Hounds. And to keep it short and sweet, I oppose.
Thank you.